It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the films of January 24, 2003, or should I say, one film, and, yeah, it's what you think it is. It's not a very good movie. It's a January film. I don't want to do an episode on just this one particular film, but, we kind of don't have a choice here, so let's just go ahead and get right to it. Let's get this over with. We'll rip it off like a Band-Aid. This is Darkness Falls. So the plot of Darkness Falls revolves around Kyle Walsh, played by Cheney Clay. Even that name sounds stupid. Cheney Clay. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. That's how much I don't give a crap about this movie. Who witnesses his mother's murder at the hands of a vengeful spirit lynched by an angry mob more than 150 years ago. 12 years later, Kyle returns to his childhood home because Michael Green, played by Lee Cormie, the younger brother of romantic interest Caitlin, played by Emma Caulfield, is being stalked by the same spirit. Kyle must protect them from this powerful enemy and put an end to his killing spree. You can't really talk about this movie in particular without delving into the troubling production history, and this had a troubling production history indeed. Specifically, the fact that this movie was originally intended to have Doug Jones play the Tooth Fairy, and instead of having him, they basically just created a creature that, I mean, to be fair, can look intimidating at times, but when you actually see what this thing can do in the movie and what this thing is capable of, you suddenly lose a lot of the intensity of the film overall when it's said and done. But not only that, this was one of those movies that was completely screwed over, mostly from the editing process. The film wanted to establish that Kyle Walsh was more explicitly troubled while keeping the actual existence of the Tooth Fairy vague and undefined in order to make audiences question whether Kyle was actually the killer or not. Matilda Dixon was also established being a younger widow with a husband who was lost at sea rather than an older woman as depicted in the final film. In fact, the trailers have her set up as a young woman. I mean, that trailer I just showed you had her as a young woman. I mean, after completion, the producers truncated the film down. The final cut removed character backstory, which, who needs that in a horror movie? I mean, why should we give a crap about these characters, says the studio executives, as well as expanded details on the Darkness Falls curse that made the film much more upfront and explicit with the Tooth Fairy as the main antagonist rather than any suggestion that Kyle may be the killer, which, I mean, why would we want to do that? I mean, look at what happened with Nightmare on Elm Street 2 when they made Jesse the killer. I mean, clearly nobody wanted to see that. I mean, it was completely different altogether, even though the fact he was completely possessed by Freddy Krueger in that film. But who cares if that made that film much more intriguing and more interesting overall? No. This is January, motherfuckers. We're gonna make as terrible of a horror film as you can get, and make it the most generic, the most pathetic, and the most laziest movie you will ever see. I mean, this is a horrible movie. First of all, the romantic interest, his younger brother, this kid looks like he's literally under the age of 10 years old. She looks like she's 24. How the hell does that even work out that she and her are related as brother and sister? I mean, if you want to say maybe, like, I don't know, maybe if you want to go the route of a teenage pregnancy, or just say he's a cousin. But nope, we got to say that he's a younger brother because apparently that's more intimidating. And they did not do a good job of making Kyle likable whatsoever. I mean, yeah, he's unfairly is seen as the person that commits these murders, and like he really is literally unfairly seen as the killer. I mean, right at the beginning of the movie, whenever she, oh, excuse me, had something on my mouth there. But anyway, where was I? Oh, back in as when this kid sees his mother getting killed, the cops are automatically thinking of him thinking that, oh, he's on narcotics, he's on psychotic drugs and all that. But it's like, we never saw that at the beginning of the movie. Like, there was never any indication whatsoever this guy was whacked out on psychotics. I mean, later on, yeah, because of what happened, but not before this. I mean, these are the type of cops that would be the type of person that would be the type of people that would kill a black person without even. They would be the ones that would kill George Floyd, because it's a small town and they're always making the easiest things as the easiest assumptions. Good lord, I don't know why I can't get these words out here. I mean, maybe it's because I'm trying to get too much out to you guys, but I don't know. I don't know why I couldn't figure it out. I literally figured it out as soon as I stopped recording. But these cops would be the type of person that would have the earliest assumptions about somebody before they would even do anything. Like, they'd be the ones who'd be beating up George Floyd in Minnesota. I mean, that's how bad the cops are in this movie. They're just so stuck on one specific thing. Like, if anyone even tries to explain to them some common sense, they just push it off to the side and say, no, you're the crazy one, and we're going to keep that story because clearly we live in a town called Darkness Falls. That's another problem with the movie. The movie's literally called Darkness. The town's literally called Darkness Falls. What the hell did you think was going to happen in a town like Darkness Falls? That would be like calling Elm Street. Don't call it Elm Street anymore. Just call it Freddy's Kingdom, because Freddy Krueger rules that place, and anyone that gets in his way is going to literally get killed while they're sleeping. I mean, it'd be like calling Crystal Lake Jason Land, because that's where Jason Voorhees is. Like, see how stupid some of this movie is getting the more and more I talk about it. And oh yeah, they decided to change the rules halfway through the movie. Like, you know, the whole thing is that you got to stay in the light. You got to stay in the light. If you don't stay in the light, then the Tooth Fairy's going to get you. These people stay in the light many times in the movie, and the Tooth Fairy decides to attack them anyway because. I mean, because F you, that's why you're sick. Is like this. It's like the movie is literally telling you you're the reason why is you decided to sit down for this, and so we're going to punish you by insulting your intelligence with a movie like this. But hey, I hope it was worth it to get to third base or second base. I hope it was worth it to get second base with your date that clearly is not going to talk to you again after you come out of this movie. I mean. If you went on a date when this movie came out, I'm sorry for you. I really do apologize, and I hope you've had a better life after that. But I mean, can you just? I'm rambling on here. I know I'm not really making a whole lot of sense here, but I'm sorry. This is a terrible movie. This is a really, really bad movie. There was a lot of potential there for what this movie could be, but the studio decided to cut it all down. Make it the most pathetic and laziest film possible. I mean, we just talked about a bad movie that came out in '88, Bad Dreams, which is literally trying to be the next Freddy Krueger, the next Jason Voorhees. That one was at least trying to do something. This is not. This is a terrible film. A film that is so pointless. It's not, the only reason it exists is because it needs to open up on a weekend like this where literally nothing else opens up. And it could take all the money it wants to on that first weekend and then just get out of the way because nobody's going to talk about it the following week afterwards. And not surprisingly, nobody ever talks about this movie again because it made a lot of money on the first weekend, most notably the first day, and then nobody came back afterwards because why the hell would you want to go back to this movie in the first place? Have I got enough for you there? I think I've gotten enough for you there. Darkness Falls. This is about as bad of a horror film as you can get. So yeah, avoid this one like the plague. In fact, just avoid it altogether. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you. I'm gonna shut it off now. And so on that note, that rambling note, I should say, that wraps up this episode of Time About the Movies. But next week we'll wrap January up with some better movies. Hopefully, I mean, it can't get any worse than Darkness Falls. We've got Al Pacino and Colin Farrell in The Recruit, a good horror movie that came out in the first month of 2003, Final Destination 2, one of the laziest Fast and Furious knockoffs you'll see, and we're going to get to those as we move along here, Biker Boys, and also The Guru with Heather Graham and Marissa Tomei among the cast as well. So 4 films in general to take a look at. We'll take a look at all those on the next episode. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and again, I know I was just mostly rambling on there, but like, what more can you say about this horrible film that hasn't already been said already? But if you like that rambling, or you want to see better episodes of the show, please hit the playlist on the next page. Check out the previous episode, and also don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this on this channel. So with that said, I am off. I will see you next time, and until then, as always, take care.